Hey, what's up, people? I'm IGP, and welcome back to Subnautica Below Zero. Just yesterday, Unknown Worlds had announced that they moved from Trello to Favro. For those who don't know, Trello and Favro are project management applications, and Unknown Worlds has been utilizing it just like a lot of other game developers have, to stay organized with their team on everything that they're working on. In particular, for Subnautica when it was in development, and for Below Zero right now, it's a way to keep us informed about what's going on in development. Now, they are essentially the same type of site, however, Favro for them seems to be the better choice. So the transition happened, and with that transition came an unexpected amount of reveals, such as this, and this. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited that this stuff is dropped. There is a lot of new information here on the Favro, and if you want to check it out for yourself, link will be down in the description below. I personally prefer the layout of Favro over Trello. Everything seems a lot more organized than it did before. On the left-hand panel, you can see here there are categories for features, world design, lifeforms, story, and the site opens up to the project roadmap, which is something that I've been waiting for a while. Now, this video in particular is not going to go over the Favro site. We'll explore all of that in the future, of course, since this is going to be the go-to. All of the updates that you'll see in the future from me will likely come from here. I just wanted to share that information with you because I'm sure you'd be excited to see all of this as well. Today's video, we're going to be talking about the beasts, the dangers, the horror of Below Zero. With this transition to Favro, we have discovered quite a few additional Leviathans than the ones we already knew about. And these are the most horrific of the horrific. Anyway, if you guys are still enjoying Subnautica Below Zero updates, let me know in the comment section below. Now, of course, to preface the rest of this video, please be aware that any information that I'm talking about now, even if it seems like it's confirmed, is subject to change. I'm going to be showing you things that I know for a fact are in the game because I've seen it, or it's been confirmed by the devs, but I'm also going to be showing you scrapped concept art and earlier versions of certain creatures. Just keep that in mind. Everything is subject to change. First up on our list, which is not in any particular order, is the Shadow Leviathan. Now, just yesterday, this concept art was released. This is, as labeled, Leviathan Concept 14, but officially has the name of Shadow Leviathan. Now, right off the bat, this is the most terrifying looking Leviathan that I have seen in this series so far. Now, that might be a personal thing because centipedes, millipedes, anything with just over 10 legs or so gives me a bit of anxiety. There's actually quite a few pieces of concept art by Alex for the Shadow Leviathan. Now, there isn't much information on it just yet, even on the Favro, but one can assume that it's called the Shadow Leviathan either because it lurks in the deep, where light doesn't penetrate as much, or that it is very dark. Again, I have to give a huge shout out to Alex for putting so much thought and detail into these creatures. Here's some information about why it was designed this way. Head shield can rotate into streamlined position for swimming. Visible pouch shows recently eaten prey, digestive organs, bio-luminescent jaws. Again, bioluminescence is a common thing in the deep, even here on Earth, so we're probably going to see a lot of that when we get into the deeper parts of Below Zero. Here are some earlier, even more aggressive-looking versions of the Shadow Leviathan. This one in particular just looks like something out of Ark. I love the concept, but I don't like Ark. Now, with that concept, we actually get to see a close-up of the head that was being worked on. During attack/ramming, crests open out and raises up and forward. Its head is very expandable. Here's another version of it, concept front view B. Upper and lower jaw hinged, separate from bony head shield. Now, it's always interesting to see where everything originated from, and here is the apparent original concept of the Shadow Leviathan. Currently grabbing a sea moth. I think this is the only piece of art that we actually get to see the scale of this thing, but it is Leviathan class, so we already know it's going to be huge. So that is the Shadow Leviathan, everything that we have on it so far. Again, I have to say, for me personally, this is the most terrifying Leviathan that I have seen to date. The next one that I want to talk about is the Squid Shark. Just by looking at this, we see that we have a lot more information on it now. Even a model. Now, the Squid Shark has a bulky yet streamlined body tapering to a point at each end and lacking a tail fin. It utilizes counter shading to help it remain camouflaged, with a dark blue dorsal side and a grayish-white belly that lets it blend in with the ice sky above when viewed from below, and the dark sea when viewed from above. Now, this is something I talked about quite a bit when Below Zero was first announced, that a lot of the creature concepts we saw had that kind of double shading to it, or counter shading. This is something that a lot of creatures on our own planet have as well. Now, as it states here, the squid shark's mouth has an odd structure, 6 flaps of skin close together, creating a face that tapers to a point. However, these flaps can open to expose a jaw that protrudes outwards from the mouth and has 17 long black tooth-like structures to capture prey items. Or you could simply say the mouth is literal nightmares. And here is the beautiful squid shark model with its mouth protruding. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to get eaten by this thing, this is kind of what you can expect. Now that's a deep recess that even I would not explore. Now the shape is particularly interesting to me just because the side of this and the way that its fins are spread out, it makes it look like an airliner. Like these would be the turbines and these would be the wings. It's kind of interesting. I'm assuming, and I'm not sure if it had the description there, but that these would be used to propel in a way. Now the teeth for me remind me of the alien penguin's teeth. I don't know if there's any particular relation there. I can't imagine there is, but it seems like the creatures in Below Zero are going to share a lot of traits. Again, something I've talked about for a while now. Now, despite how it looks and how gigantic it looks, it's actually not as big as some of the other Leviathans that we're going to run into. This shows off the size reference to the player, and it's honestly not that huge. I mean, it's just a little bit bigger than a stalker if I have the proportions correct in my mind, which I likely don't, but it isn't as big as it looks until you get in VR, and then it's just terrifying. So that's the squid shark. Unfortunately, this lovely creature didn't show up during my time playing Below Zero, as I didn't get that far or it wasn't implemented at the time. Either way, I'm really looking forward to actually seeing this in-game. Now this one is the brute shark, another aggressive fauna in the game that I personally have been attacked by. As I mentioned in the last episode, I did get a chance to test out Below Zero with the team when they were on their retreat. And this guy welcomed me with open jaws. And yes, it is even more terrifying up close. The brute shark actually roamed around the starting biome. After all the beginning and intro events take place, you eventually go out into what is Below Zero's safe biome. It swims around eating fish just like the stalkers do. However, I feel like this one's a bit more aggressive, as the stalkers in Subnautica were just really trying to mind their own business and defending their precious collection of metal. These guys are just hunters and are looking to kill. And here's the model of the brute shark. If you take out the teeth, he's actually pretty cute. Actually, I like the detail on this. Look at the bumps. There's bumps, scratches, just about everything on the texture here. Beautiful job. But yes, this is the menacing brute shark. Overall, it's a rather simplistic design for a creature. The jaw does seem like it kind of dislocates to open up to be able to swallow prey whole, and the eyes make it look like it's freaking blind. But if you zoom out just a little bit, you actually kind of see it looks like it could potentially be top-heavy. I know it's underwater, but its whole head is just disproportionate to the rest of its body. Now, this one isn't particularly scary, but it is in the Leviathan class. And again, it's something I've actually seen in-game as well. We're just here to admire this cute guy, and for anyone who hasn't seen the glow whale just yet, you're in for a treat, but we've already talked it up to death. I want to see if I can get in its mouth. Hold on a second. Can I actually... Hello. It's dark in here. Ah, the beloved ice worm. Yet another thing that I've encountered beyond my want or need. The ice worm is a huge aggressive fauna species that burrows beneath the surface of the ice. They appear to be ambush predators drawn towards heat and sound above them. This is its head. Now, if you've seen the last episode, I did say that the ice worm in particular has a different kind of way of getting through the ice, and I didn't go into too much detail, but here it is. It has a horn on its head. This horn, or blade, if you want to put it that way, heats up to a tremendous temperature and can cut through the ice, allowing the ice worm to navigate around underneath and, of course, help it pop up when it wants to scare the living hell out of you. Now that this is out there, I can talk a little bit about my experience with the ice worm. Of course, being guided by Unknown Worlds at the time, I was playing through the beginning stages of Below Zero. And upon entering what I can only assume to be the area of the game or the map where you're going to be on land a lot more, you can hear an audible rumble coming from below the ice. In my particular case, I was facing the opposite direction in which the ice worm appeared. I watched as rocks fell from above my screen right in front of me, rocks and I'm assuming huge chunks of ice, only to turn around to see a skyscraper of a creature poking its body out from the ice. It made a terrifying roar sound that even if it is just a placeholder, it's bone chilling. And because I was too close, it ate me. Now, it didn't kill me, but I feel like the ice worm would just destroy whatever it touches. Considering it's a hazard that you can actually avoid by using items such as the thumper, seems to me that it would be more beneficial if the ice worm actually can kill you. Now, the second time it happened, I left it alone and the ice worm retracted back into the hole that it created. However, the hole remained above the ice. It created a miniature hill in the terrain and actually was kind of hard to navigate around. And yes, the ice worm is very much huge. There aren't any concepts showing the scale. Just know that when I turned around and saw what I can only assume to be half of its body sticking above the ice, it was towering above me. It felt like the size of a large-scale hotel, but that could also just be me being terrified of it, seeing as it was the first time that I'd ever seen it. Now, here's some other pieces of art showing the variants of the ice worm. I see the variations in the mouth here, all equally terrifying. The fact that it doesn't have any eyes, or at least none that I can see, is... ugh. Here's some more early sketches of it. People will likely say this reminds them of Tremors. Yes, it does. It also reminds me of Osiris New Dawn. But it is one beautiful creature, and I am glad that it exists. And here's some reinforcement on what I experienced. This is an early version of the concept in which it didn't have the heated blade horn. Instead, it had ice cutters. But the attack sequence on the right shows that it's underneath. It breaks through, creating debris and basically a mountain range of ice. And then it kind of follows what it originally was designed as, which had kind of like a cage-like jaw or teeth, mandibles, whatever, and it would trap the prey in and bring it back underground. That's actually kind of terrifying. That's pretty terrifying. Anyway, that is the ice worm. I feel like this is going to be the Reaper Leviathan of Leviathans in Below Zero, just because it's something that was early on talked about, and we're going to keep getting little pieces of it moving forward. And it also has a huge role in early access, and take that as loosely as you can. I don't want to give any secrets away, but you'll see soon enough. And of course, this guy, which we've talked about in previous episodes, it is huge, and it originally had a transparent version of itself, but I think that was scrapped. I don't think it's going to be used. And it is still unnamed. There's the size of it. Beautiful. There's its mouth opening up. Now, here's an interesting fact. The red coloration is a trait shared by many deep-sea creatures, as red light is quickly absorbed by water, only penetrating around 15 meters. This means that in very deep waters, being red is no different to being black. That's obviously terrifying. Anyway, so that is the unknown predator, or unnamed predator, the Leviathan Predator. Now let's talk about something even more mysterious. This, my friends, is the ice dragon. And oh, does it appear to be an ice dragon. That is an enormous creature. There's the player right there. Not sure if you can see that tiny speck in the artwork, but good God, what in the hell is going on here? We actually have a dragon, the sea dragon Leviathan, right? But it doesn't look anything, well, it kind of looks like a dragon. In the face, it kind of looks like a dragon, the fantasy idea of what a dragon is. But this thing has what looks like wings. It actually looks like a dragon, an underwater ice dragon. I am perplexed. This is something I never thought would ever be in a Subnautica game. And that's not a bad thing at all. The exact opposite of bad. I am extremely excited to see this thing. Now, of course, this may not make it into the game. There are a lot of scrapped creatures already. Really, a lot of people are saying that it's probably not going to be in the game. And that's fair to say, you know? There's a lot of concept art out there that just gets kind of tossed. They put a lot of work into it and they just don't end up using it. It usually doesn't leave the concept art stage. However, we have a model. Look at this. Look at this. Now, it's not textured, okay? So it's, oh my God, wait a second. What in the hell? What is that? Okay. Yeah, I don't want to look anymore. So this is the ice dragon. Very well detailed, I'd say. I'd love to see some texture on here, but this is interesting to see. Dragon. I mean, it's a dragon. It is absolutely a dragon. I don't know how else to describe. It's the best description you can give it. It's a freaking dragon. Like, this could legitimately, if it had legs, if these were legs, right? I could believe that this was a dragon above water. Look at how the bends right here around the chest plate. It's a dragon. Freaking dragon. Look, I'll just do this. I'll do this. Hold on. Look at this. Dragon. It's a dragon. You would have no idea that the feet aren't back there. Also, good God, could you guys give it any more of a bone-chilling look? Jesus. I want to know what this thing is. If anyone knows what that is, please let me know. Could be a little squirter, right? A little squirt gun. Like, I'm gonna eat you, haha, just kidding, it's a squirt. I don't know. This is it's a very weird thing to talk about. Again, this is something I absolutely would never have guessed would be in Subnautica. That is not a bad thing at all. I love the design of this, and I would love to see it in game. Like, with the Sea Dragon Leviathan, it has features that kind of give it that look, but overall, it's its own unique creature. I don't know. You get a yes from me. I would fully support this. Anyway, so that's the Ice Dragon. There's not much else to say. What do you guys think? Now, of course, there are other gigantic creatures like the Vent Garden, which is, I'm assuming, Leviathan class. That's the one that has the biome inside of it. Take that, reef back. And of course, we already showed off the glow whale, but I can't imagine that it's going to stop here. New concepts are being created all the time. I honestly thought it was cut off at the last one that we saw, the unnamed Predator Leviathan. But now we have 2 additional ones that could potentially make it into the game. Anyway, so that's it for the terror of the deep of Below Zero. There are a lot of creatures still being worked on. There's a lot of information to go over from the Favro, so expect more content in the near future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you got just a little bit more information out of it. Again, if you want to cross-reference any of this information or look it up for yourself, links will be down in the description below. Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.